Hello there, YouTube. Rosewood Studios here. As you could probably tell from the thumbnail, I'm remaking an older video of mine, the Favorites Chart video. The reason for this is that I've been dealing with a bit of competitive burnout with Pokemon lately, so a good friend of mine, Jimmy the Hedgehog, feel free to check them out on Twitch and YouTube. They told me to try and take a break from the competitive side, and I'm glad I did. It's given me a chance to catch up on the manga, catch up on the anime. It's given me a chance to reconnect with some of my old favorites from when I was a kid. So now that I actually know what I think is most important to me when it comes to Pokemon, which is more so just the connection and history I have with that Pokemon, rather than just how good it is competitively. So I'm going to try to keep my explanation for each Pokemon short and simple, though I can't make any guarantees. But let's try to make this so it's not like a 2-hour-long video. Starting off, we have Eevee for the Kanto Normal type. I just really love this Pokemon. It's a Pokemon I use frequently in playthroughs due to its huge amount of versatility. It's got, as of Generation 6 onwards, it's had 8 different potential evolutions you can have. So it fits your team no matter how you're building it, which I genuinely like that concept. Fire type, it's Arcanine for sure. This is the Pokemon that got me into the franchise to begin with. And if not for Arcanine, I don't even think I would have gotten into future generations of Pokemon. Water, definitely Blastoise. Squirtle was the first starter I have ever chosen in a Pokemon game. And that's because at the time, turtles were my favorite animal. They're not really my favorite animal nowadays, though I do still like turtles. And it just kind of blew my mind as a kid to see how something so simple as a turtle could become such a big behemoth with, cannons on his back to just blast away everything. Oh my god, is that why it's Blastoise? It's a blasting tortoise. Okay. Mind just blown again. Grass type Venusaur. I will admit this is more of a competitive favorite with my histories, as I do genuinely like weather-based teams in competitive Pokemon, same with Trick Room teams. And Venusaur is actually one of the best sun Pokemon of all time. It's got Chlorophyll as well as access to the move Sleep Powder, so we can just spam that. And in the current restricted format with Koraidon, it pairs pretty well with it because its poison type moves, Sludge Bomb specifically, hits the fairy types that otherwise wall Koraidon, and Koraidon can just deal with the steel types that Venusaur struggles with. For electric, we got my boy Raichu here. I really love this Pokemon. I'm actually excited for Mega Raichu X and Y in the DLC for Legends EA. If I can raise the money for the game, I currently don't have the money for it, but I would really love to get this game. But I actually really like Raichu for a few reasons. For one, I've used it on rain teams competitively because it has the ability Lightning Rod, which pairs well with Pelipper. It's got Thunder, which pairs well with the Rain, and Fake Out to support Pelipper on setting up Tailwind. But aside from that, it's also just a Pokemon I like to use in my playthroughs because it's good for catching Pokemon because it's got Thunder Wave. For Ice type, I'm going to say Articuno. I just really like this Pokemon because it pairs well with Raichu and Arcanine as it's immune to the ground type they are both weak to. And Articuno can also just hit the ground types that Raichu struggles with, while Raichu hits the water types Arcanine is weak against, so they just form a rather solid core together in all honesty. It also helps that it's like a majestic looking bird, so that's a plus. For fighting, definitely Machamp. If I'm being honest, I prefer the shiny Machamp more so specifically, because it's basically just Forearms from Ben 10, but the Hulk. Poison. Originally, I was going to say Venomoth, but I have to be honest, it's Weezing. I like Pokemon that have something unique about them, or that just have a large amount of versatility and utility. And Weezing, while it's not the most versatile or utilitarian-like Pokemon, it has a unique role on teams in that it's the only Pokemon with neutralizing gas, which is a role that is actually pretty solid because it allows some otherwise bad Pokemon like Archeops and Slaking to be good in the competitive format, and I just like that about this Pokemon. Ground type, we have King and Queen. I do genuinely like them both, but But if I had to choose one, I'm going to say the Queen, because I do prefer a bulky Pokemon over a offensive Pokemon. Flying type Butterfree, I was actually moved by the episode Bye Bye Butterfree, because as a kid, I just thought it was Ash getting rid of a Pokemon, but as I grew up, I understood that the moral of that episode is that if you love something, sometimes you have to let it go, and that is a very good lesson to teach kids. Even if they don't understand it right away, it's something that they will eventually understand as they get older. And for that reason alone, I really like Butterfree. It was the key turning point of a valuable life lesson for children. Psychic, Mr. Mime. I love goofball Pokemon, and Mr. Mime is like the biggest goofball if you look at the anime other than Wobbuffet. So, like, I really like Mr. Mime. Most people don't like him because, you know, ooh, Mime, scary, ah! But no, I just really like this Pokemon. For Bug, I'm going to say Parasect. I really like Parasect. I don't know why. It could just be the goofiness factor, I suppose, but it's just a nice Pokemon, I suppose. I guess Spore and Aromatherapy in a playthrough also helps a lot, now that I think about it. Rock type, easily Golem. Don't get me wrong, I love Aerodactyl and Lord Helix here, but Golem I have more history with, if I'm being honest. It's a Pokemon I've actually used quite frequently in competitive singles, especially on the ranked ladder on Pokemon Showdown, because Sturdy plus Custap Berry as well as Stealth Rock means it'll always get up rocks, and then it can move first with like Explosion, Earthquake, or Rock Slide. So it just has like a role it serves very well. Ghost, Gengar, there's not really many options, but I'm not complaining about this because I do genuinely like Gengar, especially if you look at it from the anime, because this dude is a total nut. For Dragon, definitely Dragonite, one of the cutest pseudo-legendary Pokemon in my opinion. And while I don't use pseudo-legendaries much in the game, more so because they're difficult to get their final evolutions before the League, I do love it from the anime, especially that episode with the lighthouse, because the thing was massive. Like, I did not expect that. Dark types didn't exist in Kanto, so I'm just going to put, I don't know, Substitute. Steel, Magnemite. Again, I do like goofball Pokemon, but this isn't really... I don't really like the Magnemite line, to be honest, but I have used Magnemite competitively in the Little Cup format, just because, like, you're likely to see a Steel-type Pokemon, and with access to, like, Thunderbolt and Magnet Pull, it does help eradicate that defensive powerhouse. For Fairy, I'd say Clefairy. It's a Pokemon I've used competitively because it does have Follow Me and Helping Hand, as well as the ability Friend Guard. But the main reason I like it is actually because of the anime, especially the Mount Moon episode. I can't remember the name of the episode, but they were dancing around the Moonstone, and I liked that. It was fun and made me laugh. Starter, definitely Blastoise. Again, first starter I ever used. Gimmick form, Mega Charizard. It's a similar reason to Venusaur. It's because I like weather-based teams in competitive Pokemon. And Charizard does set the sun up, which actually benefits Venusaur. Legendary, definitely Articuno. I just really like this Pokemon. Favorite overall for this generation, though, has to be Arcanine. It's the Pokemon that got me into the franchise to begin with. For Gen 2 normal type, I'm going to go with Smeargle. I know a lot of people dislike this Pokemon, and I understand why. It's because it does have that habit of being one of the most annoying Pokemon in competitive. But I like it because I'm an artist myself, so it just resonates with me, which I think is more important than how many people actually like it. One second. For Fire type, I definitely had to say Entei. The Entei movie is still one of my favorite Pokemon movies. It was actually one of the first few I saw growing up. So, I will always love Entei because of that. For water type, definitely Politoed. It's just a silly frog, and I understand why PM7 likes his frogs. Grass, definitely Meganium, my favorite starter for this region. Electric, it's kind of a toss-up between Ampharos and Raikou, but if I had to choose one, I'm going to go with Amphi, because Jasmine's my favorite gym leader, and she did take care of an Ampharos in a lighthouse, which is part of her town. So it just resonates with me on that type of level. For Ice, definitely Sneasel. I love this Pokemon to pieces, though I haven't really used it as of recently because it's just not that good, in my opinion. For Fighting type, Heracross, it's just silly from the anime, but I've never actually really used it outside of one singular playthrough. Poison, I have to go with Crobat, my girl Olivine here, because I actually have a shiny Crobat in my Soul Silver playthrough right now, and, like, I'm still happy about that. Like, I love Crobat. Like, I liked it when I was in competitive. Like, finding a shiny, like, before even the first gym, now that is just phenomenal timing, in my opinion. Ground type, definitely Piloswine. I was going to say Wooper, but this Pokemon actually grew on me a lot recently. Like, I was playing through Soul Silver, the same playthrough actually with the shiny Crobat, and Piloswine just swept Lance under the rug. Like, priority Ice Shard plus Hail and Bright Powder and Snow Cloak just makes this Pokemon difficult for Lance to deal with, surprisingly. For Flying type, definitely Hoot. I love owls, and there's actually an owl's nest near where I live, and that's pretty much all there is about why I love this Pokemon. Psychic, Wobbuffet, most iconic member of Team Rocket, I feel, besides, Jesse James and Meowth. May the members of Team Rocket rest in peace. They will be missed. But Wobbuffet, I just really love this Pokemon. It's a goofball, and as I mentioned before, I really like goofy Pokemon. Bug type, easily Scizor. I just love the design of this Pokemon. It's basically Iron Man if Iron Man was a praying mantis. Or, is he a praying mantis, the Scizor? Someone let me know in the comments below, please. Rock type, as much as I do like Macargo, I'm going Tyranitar here because it's the obvious choice, and anyone who knows me and my history with competitive Pokemon, they know I love this boy. I'm going to be honest, there's only one option each for Ghost and Dragon in this generation. So it doesn't really matter if I explain why I like them or not, because they're literally the only options available. Dark type, easily Houndoom. I just love Hellhounds. I think they look cool in most media. So having a Hellhound Pokemon that's also a Doberman is also kind of just cool. Steel type, definitely Steelix. Jasmine is my favorite gym leader from the Johto region. So I just really like Steelix because of that. Fairy type is definitely Azumarill. It's just like a cute and wholesome Pokemon to use, and like it offers quite a bit in a playthrough, because with modern game mechanics, it just can do Belly Drum Aqua Jet sweeps with huge power, which I think is kind of funny. Starter, as I said, it's Meganium. I just really love this Pokemon design-wise. Favorite Mega? I'm gonna say Heracross, because Skill Link is just a good ability, especially since it gets Pin Missile, it gets Rock Blast, and I think Arm Thrust. So, like, it has 3 moves now that become base 125 power, if I remember correctly. Favorite Legendary, I'm going to say Entei, again, just because I really love the Entei movie. Favorite overall for this generation, though, definitely Sneasel. I love this cat. Normal type in Hoenn, Zigzagoon, because it literally is A, adorable, B, good for Pokemon contests, especially when it becomes Linoon and gets Belly Drum, and C, it learns a good chunk of the hidden moves that you need for traveling across the region. Also, Pickup is nice to have on a playthrough Pokemon. Fire, everyone who knows me knows I love my Blaziken, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I will always love this Pokemon. And so it's right here. Water, Milotic, it's a pain in the butt to find because you have to find a Feebas, which is extremely rare. You have to get it to have maximum beauty, which is difficult to do. Is it worth the effort? Definitely, because you get a Pokemon that is extremely tanky and hits like a truck. Grass type, Sceptile. It's kind of Grovyle or Sceptile, but it depends on perspective. Grovyle, because I do love the Mystery Dungeon games, and Grovyle was such a compelling character. But Sceptile is also a good Pokemon here because Ash had a Sceptile, though I guess that's not really a fair comparison. So I'm gonna leave it as Grovyle, in all honesty, just because, again, I love the Mystery Dungeon games, and Grovyle is like one of the most compelling characters I've seen. Electric, Manectric, very easy. It's a Pokemon I like to use competitively. It has the ability Lightning Rod in its space form, which then becomes Intimidate in its Mega form, and that gives it a dual-purpose utility role. Ice, Spheal, just cute as a button. I've never really used any of the ice types from this generation. Moving on. Fighting, Hariyama, a Pokemon I like using on Trick Room teams. Mainly because it's got the ability Guts, so just give it like Guts, Belly Drum, Facade, Close Combat, and like Flame Orb. This thing is just going to nuke everything it touches. Poison, I'm going to go Dustox here, just because it's a Pokemon I actually used recently, and out of all the options, it's probably the one I like the most. I mean, I also do like Seviper, I guess, but I would say Dustox I like more because it's more easily accessible. Ground type, Flygon, easily. I love dragonflies. They are one of my favorite insects, even though I'm not really a big fan of bugs. But I do genuinely like this Pokemon. Flying type, Pelipper. Again, I love weather-based strategies. Pelipper, it's got the ability Drizzle, it's got the moves Tailwind, as well as access to Hurricane, Weather Ball, and even Wide Guard. So this is actually like an insane powerhouse on a competitive rain team. And it also pairs well with Raichu here. I'm going to get this out of the way. Latios and Latios for Psychic and Dragon. I just really love these two. Pokemon Heroes, one of the greatest movies in my opinion. They also do serve decent roles in competitive, with Latios being more offensive and Latios being more defensive. Latios is actually currently better than Latios. I don't know why. If someone can let me know in the comments. But I just thought I'd bring that up. Bug, easily Wurmple. I love this Pokemon. I mean, I have Dustox here, so obviously I love this Pokemon. And it's understandable why. It's just cute as a button. Rock, as much as I like Aggron, I'm going to go with Cradily, mainly because Aggron was such a pain in the butt to get from Aron to Aggron. I had no idea this thing was in the slow level up group until I started training one. Ghost, Dusclops, literally one of my favorite Trick Room setters. Dark, I have to go with Shiftry. This is actually why I put Grovyle here, because it was either put Shiftry here and Mightyena here, but comparatively, I just really like Grovyle and I really like Shiftry, and I like Grovyle more than Mightyena. So I figured this was the best way to do that. Steel-type Metagross, my boy Steven would be proud. But in all seriousness, I do genuinely like this Pokemon. I think it's actually really cracked, both competitively and casually. Like, just give this thing weakness policy, agility, and like Psychic and Steel Stab, and maybe Knockoff, and you're off to the races, kiddo. For Fairy, Gardevoir, it's a very pretty Pokemon, and I do love how regal it looks. I haven't used it as often lately, just because it is difficult to find, surprisingly, and while the Psychic Fairy typing does help it, it also doesn't at the same time. Starter, definitely Blaziken. I love this Pokemon. Favorite gimmick form, Mega Manectric. As I mentioned, it's a competitive powerhouse alongside its base form. Favorite legendary for this generation? I would say Latios like I did last time, but if I'm being honest, I think I have to go with our Lord and Savior Rayquaza. M&J TV, if you see this video, can I join Team Sky? Thank you. But favorite overall for this generation? Honestly, probably Milotic, just because its rarity and how good it is when you put forth the investment to get it. Gen 4 normal type, the God Bidoof, like, I cannot imagine ever playing through Sinnoh without a Bidoof, because it literally learns every hidden move in the game besides, like, Defog and Fly. So, like, this Pokemon's going places. Fire type, Infernape. I love it from the anime, and it's also the one starter I use pretty much every single playthrough of Sinnoh, because the Sinnoh Pokedex sucks. Honestly, I'm just going to say this now. I really like all three starters. They outdid themselves with this generation of starters. Like, this is like the perfect trio, in my opinion. Electric type, Luxray, my favorite Pokemon with the ability Rivalry, because it has Stab on its electric moves, it gets Ice Fang, so just slap a Life Orb on this, give it the ability Rivalry, and set up its stats in a way where it can survive an Earthquake from Landorus. This thing is going to one-shot Landorus, even with the Intimidate attack drop. Ice type, definitely Glaceon. It's my favorite evolution, to be honest. And it's also, like, one of the best Ice type Pokemon of all time, in my opinion. Design-wise, anyway. Fighting type, Lucario. Everyone knows and loves him. And he also had his own movie, which helps understand why. I also like playing as Lucario in Smash Bros. Poison, Toxicroak. I love this Pokemon on specific team strategies, like Liquid Voice Perish Song with Primarina, just because it's immune to the Perish Song at that point then, so it just pairs very well. The Fighting typing also hits the Steel type Primarina struggles with, and Poison typing helps with the Grass types Primarina struggles with. Ground type Gastrodon, I actually have a history of using this competitively because it does have the move Yawn and the move Icy Wind. But it's also just a cute Pokemon I've used in numerous Sinnoh playthroughs because it's something you can get early on, like before the second gym, actually. Not Gastrodon itself, but Shellos. But the point still stands. Flying type Drifblim. I know a lot of people would expect Staraptor here because I put it last time, but honestly, I really like Drifblim. It's underrated, in my opinion. Like, Ghost Flying is a good combination of offenses because the only type in Gen 4 that resists both is Steel. And then Gen 6 onwards, it actually doesn't even get resisted by Steel anymore. So it just hits everything for neutral damage for the most part. Psychic, Cresselia, she's my queen. I love this Pokemon so much that I actually frequently use her on competitive team strategies whenever she is legal, because she is my favorite Pokemon for setting Trick Room. Bug type, Mothim, I just really like the design. Rock type, Bastiodon, I've actually used this quite frequently in playthroughs. And also, same reasoning as Toxicroak, it just pairs well with Primarina because it does have the ability Soundproof. So it's immune to Primarina's Perish Song. For Ghost type, as much as I would like to put Dusknoir because he is one of the greatest villains in the entire franchise, I have to go Giratina because Pokemon Platinum, one of the best games of all time. Dragon, easily Garchomp. I really love this Pokemon. It's a shark that walks on land, and Cynthia is probably like my favorite champion in the franchise. Dark type, Darkrai, Rise of Darkrai, all-time favorite Pokemon movie, still my favorite movie to this day. Steel type, easily Bronzong. Again, I love Trick Room teams in addition to other teams. And Bronzong kind of benefits from both of them because it has the low speed to benefit from Trick Room, but also appreciates the rain set by rain setters because it is weak to fire moves, and it does have the damage from fire moves, the rain, so then I can just focus on the ability Levitate rather than have to worry about the ability Heat Proof. Fairy, Mime Jr., similar reason to Mr. Mime, I just really like mimes. Starter, Infernape. Favorite Mega, definitely Gallade. More so because it kind of reminds me of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's got like the little dueling disc. Favorite Legendary, definitely Cresselia. As I said, she's been a go-to staple of mine for years, so I'm glad to put her here. And honestly, I'd say she's my favorite of all time for Sinnoh. Gen 5 normal type is a bit difficult. I like also how there's just a pair of human legs here. Game Freak can probably explain that. But out of all of them, I have to go with Braviary. It's a Pokemon you wouldn't expect, I feel, but like, I did a mono normal playthrough of Black and White, and while Watchog and Stoutland were like my MVPs since the beginning, I was actually struggling a lot against Marshall, so I went and caught a Rufflet, trained it up to Braviary, and was finally able to beat Marshall. Yes, I had to over-level just a little bit for the Elite Four, but I felt it was valid for that point in time. Fire-type Volcarona, I really love the design. It's very regal and fierce in its design, but it also sparks that sense of warmth and comfort, which I genuinely do appreciate in a design. Favorite Water-type, Samurott. Well, is it Samurott or Keldeo? Or Duat, actually. I'm gonna go Samurott just because I do like the Duat. I love Oshawott, Duat, and Samurott, to be honest. So, there is that. Grass-type Lilligant. It's a Pokemon I've used frequently on Sun teams because it does get After You, which works well with Torkoal. Electric Zebstrika. This is actually a recent addition to my favorites for Unova because this actually grew on me a lot in my most recent playthrough of Unova because I was struggling a lot against specific trainers because I had a very bad team, surprisingly, with the Nuzlocke rules. Ice-type Beartic. It was a member of my very first competitive Pokemon team, which was a rain-based team that also used Parasong. In fact, actually, I think every single Pokemon from that team is going to be on this list because we got Politoed, we got Kingdra, we got Beartic and Scizor, so all we need is, like, Gothitelle and Amoonguss. Fighting-type Mienshao. I have a long history of using this Pokemon competitively, especially with, like, Ghost types, because it has the ability to not get flinched with Inner Focus. It has Fake Out to flinch the opposing Pokemon, or even Upper Hand if I so choose. It has Feint to break the opponent's Protect, as well as Detect and Wide Guard, so it serves like an offensive utility role, I would say. Poison type, as I was saying, it's definitely Amoonguss. Just a Pokemon I love to use competitively, as access to Spore and Rage Powder just makes this thing a menace in doubles. Ground type Landorus, a Pokemon I have a lot of competitive history with. Flying type, I'm going to go Archeops. And the reason is because normally I'd put Archeops in Rock, but Gigalith has grown on me. But I really want Archeops to be on the list. And I'd say I like Archeops more than Tornadus anyway. Psychic type, obviously Gothitelle. I love the gothic fashion it has. And also it's very good on most Perish Trap teams. For Bug, I'd say Leavanny. It's just a Pokemon I like to use overall since it has a rather simple design. But also, it's very surprisingly decent as a Sword Stance sweeper. Ghost, Chandelure. I love the Gothic Fire and Chandelier experience. Dragon is obviously Hydreigon, one of the coolest pseudo-legendaries of all time. Dark, Zoroark, I love the Master of Illusions movie. Steel, I'm going to give it to Escavalier, actually. Normally I'd say Ferrothorn because I do use it quite a bit on stall teams. But honestly, Escavalier grew on me a lot in my most recent playthrough of Black and White, so I'm actually content putting that there. For Fairy, obviously Whimsicott. I use it a lot competitively because it does have Prankster Tailwind and other Prankster-based support moves. So it just serves a niche for the team that is not easily filled outside of Tornadus, I feel. Favorite starter? I'm going to say Samurott. I do like Emboar, don't get me wrong, but Samurott's just way cooler, in my opinion. Also because we had, like, this would make the third generation in a row where my favorite starter is the firefighting type. For gimmick forms, I'm not counting anything from Pokestar Studios, so no Bryson, no Tyranitar. Why is Tyranitar here? Monica, the Doors, and stuff like that. So my options are like trash, well, trash and bigger trash. Like, I love Aldino, don't get me wrong, it's cute, but it is trash in every sense of the word. But, like, honestly, I think that's why I'm going to choose it, because it's not literal garbage like Garbodor. Legendary, definitely Landorus. As I said, I have a huge fondness for this Pokemon competitively. I use it quite frequently whenever Incineroar is not available. Favorite overall for this generation, I have to say it's honestly either Amoonguss or Landorus because of my competitive experiences. But I would also be inclined to consider Volcarona because it just sweeps through all of Unova once you have it, to be honest. Besides maybe like Marlin being the only struggle. If I had to choose one though, I think I would say probably... I'm going to say... Amoonguss or Volk, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go Volcarona. Gen 6, Pyroar for normal. I do like that it's one of the few female rivalry Pokemon, which can help with Ogerpon and Enamorus. For Fire type, definitely Mega Charizard Y. I like Sun-based teams. Water, Greninja. Ninjas are awesome. I love the Naruto anime, so this is basically Naruto the Frog. Naruto the Pokemon. Grass type, Chestnut, actually. It grew on me in my last playthrough of Pokemon X and Y to the point where I'm actually considering saying that this is my favorite starter of the region, to be honest. Electric, as much as I love you, Pikachu Bell, I have to go with Mega Manectric here. Because, like, having Lightning Rod in the base form is just good, and Intimidate is just a very good ability. Ice is definitely Aurorus. It's basically an Aurora Borealis plus a Brachiosaurus, and I like that. Fighting, Hawlucha, it's Rey Mysterio. Poison, Dragalge, I like this, the Poison Sea Dragon theme. Ground, I would say Diggersby because it has grown on me, but I think it's still pretty much like Zygarde because, like, it's a freaking legendary. But, like, you don't get it until the end of the game, so, like... Ground is tough because they don't really give you many options. I could also go Steelix, actually, because you can trade for one, like, right when you get to Salage City. And while it won't be good against Karina, like, it does sweep most of the gyms, actually. Like, it resists the... Well, sort of resists the Grass Gym. It's immune to the Electric Gym. It walls this... And it just sweeps the last 3 gyms, actually. This thing's actually kind of cooking. Flying, definitely Talonflame. It's a Pokemon I use competitively quite frequently because it has Gale Wings and Tailwind. And then you can just go Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, and, like, Brave Bird if you want. Psychic type, definitely Meowstic. I love this Pokemon. It's a cat, and I love cats. Bug type, I'm going to go with the Country Vivian, or whatever you call this one. Actually, no, I'm going to put Diggersby here. But I like Vivian. Rock type, this might be a bit strange, but I'm actually going to say Barbaracle. This is just, like, one of those Pokemon that you wouldn't expect to be good, and yet when you use it, it actually catches you off guard. Like, it surprised me a lot when I was playing through X and Y recently. Ghost type, Trevenant, another Pokemon I love on Trick Room teams, especially the Sun Room variant, because it pairs well with Torkoal. Like, Torkoal sets the sun. This thing has the ability Harvest, so Torkoal just uses Protect. You use Trick Room. Then you can just spam Eruption and like Wood Hammer with the Citrus Berry. Dragon, easily Gudra. It's very cute and wholesome, and it's probably designed specifically for the fans who love cute things. Dark, definitely my friend Malamar, actually. I really love this Pokemon. A lot of people don't like it. I don't understand why, but I think it's actually a pretty cool design, because you have to... How you evolve into Malamar is you find an Inkay, you have to play with your console upside down, level it up to like level 30, 32, somewhere in that range. Someone can let me know below. And then you get a Malamar. And speaking of Malamar, I'm pumped for Mega Malamar come Legend ZA, actually. For Steel type, we have Aegislash for sure, because it's pretty much the only option, because they give you like 4 of them. But in all seriousness, though, I do just really like the idea of it being a sword and a shield. It's got a unique ability and stance change, so it turns defensive when you use King Shield, and then when it goes to attack, it'll turn into its more offensive stat spread. Which I think just works very well for this Pokemon. For Fairy. Honestly, I think I have to say Sylveon. It's cute, it's wholesome, and while it's not my favorite evolution due to a little bit of trauma, a friend of mine trauma dumped on me, not the one I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but a different friend, I still do somewhat like the Pokemon. Starter, definitely Chestnut. It's grown on me a lot. I love the bulky frame. My god, all the Megas. It's honestly a toss-up between Zard Y and Manectric, but I'm going to go with Mega Charizard. For Legendary, though, definitely Yveltal. Like, I chose Pokemon Y specifically because I thought Yveltal looked like the coolest Pokemon of all time. And while it doesn't really keep up with that stat-wise or typing-wise or competitively, like, it's still a good Pokemon to use. Favorite overall for this region, though, definitely Charizard Y. Gen 7, Silvally for normal. I just really like that you can change its typing and moveset based on the memory you give it. So it actually has, like, a huge amount of versatility. Like, maybe even more so than any other Pokemon on this list. Fire-type, Incineroar. I love him a lot because he is, like, one of the coolest Pokemon of all time. Water-type, Primarina. Favorite starter of all time. I'm just saying that right now. I absolutely love mermaids, and Primarina is literally just a mermaid seal. And it also just has a very unique strategy you can build with it, because with Liquid Voice Perish Song, you just pair it with Pokemon with like Soundproof, Dry Skin, Water Absorb, Storm Drain, or even like Shadow Tag. You have a very solid strategy on your hands. For grass types, I'm going Lurantis. I love the kimono design, as well as the fact that it's got this like shy girl aesthetic, which I think is rather cute and endearing. For electric, as much as I love you, Alolan Raichu, I had to go with Furbait here. I mean, Zeraora here. Ice is definitely Alolan Ninetales, though I will say Crabominable and Alolan Sandslash are close. Now, the main reason for Alolan Ninetales is it's just a good snow setter, and it also has Aurora Veil, which I believe at the time was its signature move, if I remember correctly. So, like, it's just a cool Pokemon to use. Fighting type, Pheromosa, she's just got it. It's basically like Victoria's Secret, the Pokemon. I'm hoping that was an appropriate analogy. Poison, it's kind of a toss-up between Toxapex and Salazzle, but if I have to go with history, because honestly, to me, a favorite is Pokemon that I have a connection and history with, I have to go with Toxapex, because I have used it a lot competitively. Ground type, Mudsdale for sure. It literally saved my rear during the Pokemon League of Scarlet and Violet, because I had a very bad team because I wanted to try putting together the most crazy team I could, and I regret that because Gita was actually kicking my rear. I'm the only person who probably struggled with Gita in that fight. I am so ashamed of myself. Flying type Oricorio, I love all of them, but the one I have in Sun and Moon is Bile, so I'm going to go with Oricorio Bile. Not a good Pokemon, but I just really like the design. It's a bird that dances. I'm going to say this now, Sun and Moon cooked with all of their legendaries. I really love Necrozma, Lunala, and Solgaleo, because they're the perfect trinity of legendaries in my opinion. If Gen 4 cooked with their starters, Gen 7 cooked with their legends. Speaking of Gen 7, Bug type, Golisopod, Guzma's the man, and I really like Golisopod. Also, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, because I just now realized this, but Golisopod and Necrozma actually look very similar when you look at them. Conspiracy theory, Pokemon Bug Moon. For Rock type, definitely Lycanroc. It's a Pokemon I enjoy using competitively on the sand teams. More so because it's a offensive support Pokemon. It's got Rock Slide. It's got access to the move Endeavor as well as Taunt. So even if you're not using it to focus on damage, it's still going to provide a lot of utility to the team, which is something I appreciate in a Pokemon. Dragon type Komodo, I just really love this Pokemon design-wise. Yes, it's got a lot going on, but it's basically a Hawaiian warrior getting ready to do his battle cry stuff and just sweep the field. Dark type, I'm going with French Fry here. I know it's Alolan Persian, but I have one that I named French Fry. Don't ask why. I really like it. It grew on me. Fairy type, as much as I love Mimikyu, I really do genuinely love Mimikyu, I kind of have to go with Tapu Fini here, because it's basically Primarina, but more defensive. Favorite starter, Primarina for sure. I really love this Pokemon. Favorite regional variant, I'm going to say Alolan Raichu, because I couldn't put it over Zeraora. Favorite legendary is definitely Lunala. I chose Pokemon Moon specifically because I love the design of Lunala. Favorite overall, though, definitely Primarina. Well, before I do Gen 8 normal, I'm going to go straight to ground because Ursaluna. Let me talk Ursaluna. This Pokemon is a menace competitively. It's got low speed, so it works on Trick Room. It's got access to Guts, it's got Facade, and then it's got Close Combat and Headlong Rush, or even Earthquake if you so choose. This Pokemon has, everything an offensive powerhouse could want. For normal type, though, this is difficult because I gotta choose between Gene Simmons here and Indeedee, and I really do like Kiss, the band. So, I have to put Gene Simmons here. He's gotta be there. Which means that I have to put Indeedee in Psychic, because I also really want Indeedee on this list. Because I use Indeedee quite frequently in competitive Pokemon ever since her release. She's just good on Psy-Spam teams, to be honest. Fire types, easily Cinderace. I love this Pokemon. I love rabbits. I used to have 2 pet rabbits, Leo and Roxy. May they rest in peace. Favorite water type, definitely Urshifu. It's just a cool Pokemon. Rillaboom for grass. It's basically the 4th Tapu because Tapu Bulu got immediately replaced by this guy. Electric type, I have to say Dracozolt. I just really love how its design is. Ice, definitely Calyrex, Ice Rider. I just really like... I'm going to be honest, I like the Calyrex variants because they're very powerful, though they have completely different playstyles. We got Calyrex Ice, who is a slow physical attacker, and then we got Calyrex Shadow, which is also my favorite ghost type for this generation, who is a fast special attacker. So they do have different roles and utilities. I don't know if this counts as duplicates because they're both Calyrex, but like one is Calyrex Ice and the other is Calyrex Shadow. Feel free to let me know how you guys feel in the comments below, but I feel if they're different forms, it's okay to have them in the same generation. Speaking of, for Poison type, definitely Sneasler. I really love this Pokemon, and for fighting, like, I mean, we got Urshifu again, and it's a different form, but I wouldn't say I prefer the water form over this. I did go with Pokemon Sword, but I'm honestly leaning towards Zamazenta as my favorite for this generation, because, like, Zamazenta is just a powerhouse. There is also, like, Lilligant and Hisuian Decidueye, but I don't really use Decidueye that much, and Lilligant I don't really use as a fighting type. I use it as a sun support with, like, After You, Sleep Powder, and, like, maybe Solar Blade or Coast Combat, depending on how I feel. I'm going to put Zamazenta. Flying type, as much as I would like to put Braviary because I am a fan of Psychic types, I kind of want to put Cramorant because it's just a funny Pokemon. Like, I really like its design. Well, yeah, let's do it. Cramorant, you can go here. For Bug type, well, let me see. I think for Bug type, I'm going to go Orbeetle because in my Mono Psychic playthrough, I actually caught an, what's its name? Blipbug. And it became my ace pretty quickly in that playthrough, and I even went out of the way to get the Gigantamax form for it. I kind of regret that because I didn't realize how bad its G-Max move was, but honestly, it's fine. For Rock, though, we have Kleavor. Like, this thing's a menace competitively. It's probably one of the few times where Entry Hazards is actually good in competitive because Stone Axe just sets it up and deals damage. For Dragon type, definitely Dragapult with Goodra, like Hisuian Goodra and Steel. I really love these two dragons from this generation, so I'm glad to have them here. Dark type, Grimmsnarl, he's creepy as hell, and I love him for that. He's also a good prankster support Pokemon. Hatterene for Fairy, I really do like Psychic type Pokemon, so obviously Hatterene is going to be here. But aside from that, like, she's also just very cute and wholesome and very good on Psychic Terrain and Trick Room teams. Favorite starter, definitely Cinderace. I really love rabbits. And for gimmick form, I think I have to go with no, I'm going to put Slowbro here. I couldn't fit Slowbro in Poison because I needed Sneasler, and I couldn't put it in Psychic because I needed Indeedee. Favorite Legendary, though, is definitely Calyrex. I just don't know which form I like more. I guess because I am more of a Psy-Spam person, I guess Calyrex Shadow. Overall for this generation, though, that is going to be difficult because I love Sneasler, I love Urshifu, pretty much love a lot of all of these because they're just all pretty good Pokemon. I guess if I had to choose one, I would go just Sneasler because I really do love Sneasel, and I couldn't fit Weavile in, so this is like retribution for it. For Generation 9, easily Ursaluna, Blood Moon for normal. Yes, it's like a recency bias, but like this thing just hits hard. Like, I love Pokemon that just hit hard because I like Trick Room teams, so if I can either outpace or outdamage, I'm good to go. For Fire, definitely Cerulege. I have Pokemon Violet, so I might be biased because this is the one exclusive to that version. But, like, when my other options that I like are Armarouge and Skeledirge, and I want to save Armarouge for Psychic, which I will say this now, Armarouge is my favorite Psychic type. Like, it just leaves a bit difficult because I'm not going to be able to fit both of these on because for Ghost type, I have a different Pokemon in mind. So I feel like Cerulege here is, like, my best option to fit it in. Water type for Gen 9, I'm going to say it's honestly Ogerpon Wellspring. I really love Ogerpon. It's a very cute and wholesome Pokemon. And honestly, I really like the story behind it, where it was basically bullied by 3 bullies, and then you eventually help it get its masks back. Like, that's just so sweet of you. Grass type, I would say Arbalava, because that's actually kind of a nice Pokemon. But I'm going to go with Meowscarada because I really love cats. I'm a huge cat person. Electric, my boy Iron Hands, or should I say Brian Hands, as, what's his face? Moxie would say. That's probably trademarked by him, so don't tell him I said that. But I just really like Iron Hands. It's basically Hariyama, but better, sort of. The only difference is Hariyama can at least use Guts Facade sets. But this thing does have the ability to nuke anything it touches when it's on electric terrain, so it has its uses. Ice type, I would say Chen Pao because I did use it a lot, but honestly, I'm going to give it to Satitan. It's grown on me a lot. Fighting type, I'm giving this to Paldean Tauros Aqua because I couldn't put it over Ogerpon. And, like, while I do like Annihilate and Slitherwing, Great Tusk, and, like, pretty much all of these, I love Tauros, but I couldn't put it over Eevee either. Poison type, this one's difficult because we got Claude, we got Glamora, and we got the bullies. I think I have to go Clodsire here just because it is known for Toxic Stall. Iron Tread's in ground, by the way, because I actually use this quite frequently when Miraidon is legal, because it's actually a good counter for it. I actually built a team that combines Miraidon, Rillaboom, and Iron Treads. So how it works is Miraidon sets up electric terrain, Iron Treads goes for Steel Roller to nuke something, Miraidon pivots out with Volt Switch, sends out Rillaboom, Iron Treads then goes for another Steel Roller to nuke something while Rillaboom pivots out to send out Miraidon, and it's just a continuous cycle like that. So it's a Pokemon I actually do like, because it has a way to abuse terrain to its advantage. Flying type, Kilowattrel easily. I really love the Frigate Bird design. Also because it's pretty much either that or Iron Jugulus, and I think the bird is cooler. Bug, Spidops, I really love this Pokemon. I caught a shiny on my birthday a year or two ago. Still have it in game, thankfully. And I want to find a way to make this thing work competitively, because if I can make that work, I will be the happiest person on Earth. Rock type, I'm going to say Garganacl. I hate to say this, but Garganacl and I have become synonymous with one another because almost all of my friends would relate me to Garganacl because I use it that much competitively, as well as that much against my friends. Like, I just really love this Pokemon because it's got such a good design, it's got a good signature ability, a powerful signature move, it's got everything a stall Pokemon could want, and that's what allows it to be one of the few stall Pokemon that can thrive in the VGC setting. Ghost type Fluttermane, I really love this Pokemon, it's very cute and wholesome. Dragon type, I'm going to say Roaring Moon, because I've used it a bit during Regulation C or D. I forget exactly which one it was that allowed the Paradox Pokemon. Dark type, definitely King Gambit. I'm a huge chess player. King Gambit is actually named after a chess play, King's Gambit, which is one of the riskiest plays in all of chess, which I genuinely appreciate with this Pokemon. Steel type, Goldango, he's my boy, he's the golden boy, he's the golden lord, Eldritch. Fairy, Dachshund, I just really love the design. It's a Dachshund that is also a bread bun thing. It's just a cute Pokemon, and also has an immunity to fire moves, so it does give it actually a niche against Koraidon, because, like, send this out against Koraidon, what's it gonna do? Nothing, because this thing can just hit hard. Favorite starter for this region, definitely Meowscarada. Favorite regional form is definitely Tauros. Then we have favorite legendary. I actually really love all the legendaries from this generation, if I'm being honest. Like, they all were home runners. Maybe except Monkey Dory, which is funny because it's also the only Psychic type one out of the group. If I had to choose one, I'd say Ogerpon Water, because I do use it quite a bit. Favorite overall for this generation, it's really just a toss-up between Ogerpon, Armarouge, and Garganacl. And if I had to choose one, I guess I'm going to say Garganacl or Armarouge. More so the former, because, as I said, people, and I've become synonymous with Garganacl. So favorite normal type, well actually before I do this, let me just do this stuff down here, besides the team thing. Favorite bird is definitely Hoot Hoot. Favorite mammal is Bidoof. Bug is Wurmple. Pseudo, definitely Goodra. Pika-Clone, Raichu. Eevee, Glaceon. Fossil, Cradilly. Regional form, honestly Slowbro, I really love this Pokemon. Gmax, either Cinderace or Eevee, but I'm probably going to go Cinderace because I use it more. Favorite baby, Mime Jr. Favorite legendary is definitely Lunala. I really love that Pokemon. Same with Darkrai for Mythical. Favorite Ultra Beast, it's literally the only one on, so Pheromosa. Favorite Paradox, Fluttermane. Favorite type, definitely the Psychic type. Favorite Pokeball, I'm going to say the Heal Ball, actually. This is because of Nuzlocke. The Heal Ball has become very good for me because if I'm short on team members and I happen to have Heal Balls, like whatever I catch is going to be immediately healed, so I can start using it if I have to let my other Pokemon rest. Vivillon, whichever pattern this is, I can't remember what it's called. Not really a fan of Alchemy, but I'm going to go with the Strawberry one. Favorite new evolution, Sneasler. This I'll save until after I'm done with the bottom row. Now, is it not showing up? No, I had to be down here. So, favorite normal type. I can immediately cross out Zigzagoon and Bidoof because they're more so just because of HMs. Pyroar is Pyroar, so I wouldn't say that. Honestly, I think I have to go with Smeargle because I have the most competitive history with this Pokemon. Fire type, as much as I love Incineroar and Blaziken, I have to go with Arcanine. It's the Pokemon that got me in the franchise to begin with. Ow. Water type, honestly, it's probably Primarina or Milotic because I do genuinely love these two Pokemon that much. If I had to choose one, though, I think I would go Primarina. Grass, I'm going to go Venusaur. Don't get me wrong, I love all of these, but Venusaur I have the most connection with, I feel, because I use it frequently competitively. Especially if I'm ever running a team with Koraidon, because, you know, Grass and Poison pair well with Dragon and Fighting. Electric type, I can't say it's Furbait here because I do love Zeraora, but it's not my favorite for sure. Iron Hands is cool, but not really the greatest in my opinion. I do like Mega Manectric, but it relies on regular Manectric, so I don't feel that should count. So my options are basically Raichu, Manectric, and Luxray, which is funny that they're all pure electric types. If I had to choose just one, I think, honestly, I'm going to go with the Raichu because, like, I just have a very strong fondness for this Pokemon. Ice type, I would say Calyrex, if not for the fact that Glaceon exists. For fighting type, it's definitely not Zamazenta or Machamp. Like, I do love them, but they're not my favorite because I don't use them that frequently. Pheromosa, that's more of a recent addition to my favorites because of my last playthrough of Pokemon Ultra Moon, because I avoided Ultra Beast the first time I played the game. Tauros is interesting, but not really the greatest. So it comes down to, like, Rey Mysterio, a sumo wrestler, Lucario, and Mienshao. And honestly, if I had to choose just one of them, think I'm gonna go Hariyama, just because I have a huge history with this Pokemon. Poison, definitely Sneasler. I just really love this Pokemon. Ground, Landorus for sure. Don't get me wrong, I like Ursaluna as well, but like I just have a connection to Landorus that I don't really share with most other Pokemon. Flying type, definitely Talonflame. I love all of these. I've used Pelipper more than Talonflame as well because I do like rain teams. But honestly, Talonflame was just like such a good Pokemon at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet with Gale Wing's Tailwind, and it's still a good Pokemon now. Psychic, as much as I love Armarouge, I have to give this to Cresselia. She's literally the queen of Trick Room, in my opinion, and my personal queen. Bug type. No, actually, this is not that difficult, actually. I'm gonna give it to Golisopod. Don't get me wrong, I like Scizor, but, like, Golisopod's just kind of cool, dude. Rock type, definitely Garganacl. It's a Pokemon I've become synonymous with, and honestly, I can't blame anyone for that. Because, like, I use it that much, so it's not really impossible to see people saying I've become synonymous with it. Ghost type. I like Fluttermane, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite ghost type, because, like, we've got Lunala, and we have, like, well, actually, it's pretty much between Lunala and Fluttermane, if I'm being honest, and I'm gonna put Fluttermane. I just really like the design. Dragon type. Definitely Goodra. I just love this Pokemon's design that much. Dark. This is, it's either Grimmsnarl or Darkrai, to be honest. I would say, like, I like Zoroark, but it's definitely not my favorite Dark type. And while I am excited for Mega Malamar, Malamar's definitely not my favorite. I have to give it to Darkrai, to be honest. Like, I really love Darkrai. Steel type. I think I'm going to give this to... Honestly, I think I'm going to give it to, like, Bronzong or Goldango. But I think I have to go Bronzong because I do like Trick Room. Fairy... Probably Tapu Fini, maybe. Doxpin is also good, but I don't use it that often. And actually, you know what? No. Whimsicott, duh. I love this Pokemon. Favorite starter, I already said it. I really love Primarina. Favorite form, definitely Mega Charizard Y. Favorite legendary. I have to go Lunala. It's literally the reason I bought Ultra Moon. Let me scroll down. Favorite Pokemon of all time overall, though. Like, I genuinely love all of these Pokemon, so it's actually quite a difficult choice for me, to be honest. But, like, I love Sneasler because I really love cats, okay? I love Primarina because I really love mermaids. I love Arcanine because it's my favorite Kanto Pokemon and the Pokemon that pulled me in the franchise. Like, I really love all of these Pokemon, so this is, like, the most difficult decision I ever had to make with this video, I feel. If I had to choose just one... If I'm being honest, I'm going to say the closest tie is Arcanine, Primarina, Sneasler, Garganacl, and Milotic. These are the 5 that are the closest to my top, like, #1 spot. So, as much as I really like some of these, I do have to try cutting them out. Primarina, it's just better than Milotic, type-wise and stat-wise, so I can already cut Milotic out. So it's just become these four, and if I had to choose just one, I think I'm gonna say, like, Sneasler, because I really do love this Pokemon. Then for a team, just because it's here, I might as well. Sneasler, Indeedee, if this thing would work. Armor Rouge. Let's see, what else can I squeeze in here? We got Trick Room. Honestly, I think I will put Primarina, because I do want to have Primarina. Oop, did not mean to do that. Oh no, what happened? This is just glitching out for some reason. Garganical. And... I'm gonna put Whimsicott. No, actually, no. I will put... Where is it? Amoonguss. Yeah, I think that would work. I'd say it's like Amoonguss or Whimsicott, either of those two, but I do think this would be my team with that. So overall, I'd say I had a lot of fun with this, remaking the video. I would like to hear what you guys have as your favorite Pokemon, or even feel free to share your chart in the comments below. Last thing I want to ask before I sign off for this video is, what Mega Evolutions are you most excited for Legend ZA? As for myself, I'm excited for Mega Raichu Y, Mega Dragonite, and Mega Malamar. Until the next one, see you then.